with the announcement of the first pick of the night.
With the first pick.
Under pressure,
with the first pick. First pick.
All right, so Malachi Lawrence.
First pick.
Catch this foul.
First pick. First pick. With the first pick. First pick. First pick.
Yeah.
First pick. With the first pick.
With number 25, really I am not picky. But with 3 picks sitting in the top 60, you better do the math. It better start to add up. You better not leave without a motherfucking pass rush. Build trenches, dogs, need those. Enough Craigs need to add a couple Debos. 3 tech, got a tech, beast mode. A couple edges or the kid from Toledo. McNeil won the D, sort of a need for us. A retool for the champions of the North. We put the blueprint down, now we build on it. Green Bay wanna smoke and we still want it. Detroit under reconstruction. Minnesota trying to get saved by a munchkin. Last year's good, got better, and the best part, this is phase 1, cheers to a fresh start.
First pick. First pick.
I mean, he gets a great right tackle, turns him around. Matador gets that first pick.
With the first pick.
Wow, what an effort.
First pick. First pick.
Stand inside the right outside. Get that up, ankle arm over you, turn the corner. That's textbook stuff right there.
First pick. With the first pick.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we have made it.
We are in it.
Draft week is upon us.
Draft week is upon us, Shane. And it
Excited.
is exciting.
We're not going to talk Cubs baseball here. We're going to talk about the NFL draft.
Yeah, no Cubs baseball
Yeah.
tonight. We are talking preparing for the NFL draft, what seems like we've been doing since the Bears went out of the playoffs against the Rams, unfortunately. And if you're a patron, you know what time it is, as we have been breaking down the draft with the tape. There's no ditto scouting here.
Absolutely not.
There's just reality of what it is that we see on tape, not what we're hearing from the NFL. That's why I have Malachi Fields as my number 2 wide receiver, and Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, Dane Brugler's Big Beast book, and on and on and on and on. Except we find out, well, I found out, maybe you knew, that Matt Waldman also has his in number 2, and so does Shane Marsaw.
Yeah.
Which we never share our top 5s
No, we don't.
till the very end.
You can, well, as we get into DDP's pick or must have at 25,
Yes, I can't
as
wait.
we're going to, but you'll have to explain our phone call when you're like, do you want to know, or do you want to wait live, or are you going to try to guess it? And you can explain the process that we went through.
You said they have a poll now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yep.
we could do a poll of guessing for our fans here. I didn't even share the show today. I've been so busy. And it's been one of those days where, and weekends, because like it was 88, 89, 91 on Friday. Saturday was like 70, 69. And then yesterday hit like a ton of bricks. I mean, it went cold to the bone. And I'm out there coaching football. I just was exhausted and spent. And then before I get into anything in this show, moving forward, I want to send my condolences out to Fabiana Torres. I lost one of my best friends yesterday. He was battling cancer and lost his battle. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Carlos Tito Torres. I knew him only as Tito. I don't think I've ever called him Carlos in my life, but he will be missed. Quarterback, went on to play at the University of Miami. just a tremendous, funny human being. He was in my wedding party. Just always supporting us, the Bears. He was a Jets fan, for God's sake. The Jets couldn't do anything in his lifetime to help him get one Super Bowl.
Right.
But I always root for the Jets as my other team. Not that I ever have another team, but I sympathetically root for them, Shane.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely close to having a second team to root for.
It's not like I root for a second.
I hear you. Yeah.
I have a sympathetic rooting interest. And thank you, Jessica. He is a very, very great. Thank you, Michelle, everybody. F Cancer, Sandman, 100%. It's one of those things, man. Life is too short. Each and every week, I was talking to this guy here. Obviously, we talked about it on CHGO, but as you know, Shane Marsaw lost his dad.
I did.
And it's been a tough few months for all of us here, especially me and him, with my mom being so sick, my dad struggling to help her, and his health is it's not helping his health, but it also is affecting you. And I'm so sorry, Shane, for the loss of your dad. Not to bring it, but we have not talked about it here yet.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, you were one of the you weren't, of course, the first phone call, but you were in the short little tight circle of phone calls that were made. And, I tend to look at things a little bit different. Like, we've talked about Phil for years, and, I had all four of my grandparents until I was, 25 years old. I even had a great grandmother until I was 18, and I had both of my parents until I was 49. So, that's in and of itself pretty rare, I would say. So I consider myself very, very lucky, because I know so many friends and that lose a loved one or a parent a lot earlier than I did. So yeah, I haven't stopped, missing my dad or thinking about my dad just about every other minute since he's been gone. But under the circumstances and what he was dealing with, can't wish him back. So it's, he went out the way that he wanted to go out. He was talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers with his doctor, and that's where everything came to an end on April 11th.
It's crazy. Sports, life, it's an escape.
Yeah.
For all of us. Financial issues. You only get 4 choiys. Who put those choices up there?
Just keep those up there. You gotta.
Oh, okay.
Gotta build drama, Bill.
Oh, okay. So, again, just before we move on, I saw one of our fans here lost his wife to cancer 2 years ago.
Sorry, man. Yeah, there's not a family around that's not affected by it. That's for sure. In 2026, I lost my aunt to it all the way back in 1992. So you see the new options here. We have the poll up in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. So who's going to be the pick for DDP? This is his must-have pick.
Well, let me explain what I did here. For the first time in a long time, just doing the 25th pick is very difficult. So you have to pull back and look at the big scope picture of what we felt like is the biggest needs for the Chicago Bears and this football team as a whole. And then going through all of these players, the reality of what we felt like needed to happen, looking at how we structured, breaking down players for the patrons, especially on our tape breakdowns. It was very monumental for me because you can go in so many ways: safety, left tackle, pass rusher, defensive tackle. Some people could make an argument for a corner.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, listening to some of the national, I forget what Matt Waldman, do you remember what he calls it? Big co-draft or something?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact terminology
Something
that he
like
used,
that. Just over the past weeks driving, you listen to some of these guys that break down the draft, like Todd McShay, who's deeply under my skin. I would love to have him on the show and kind of debate back and forth with him and really test his merit when it comes to some of the stuff he says. And then listening to all these other guys that go out there and they look at these players, and then reading some of Lance Zierlein and seeing some of his stuff. And you have to do that if you're going to be in this. You kind of see where the lay of the land is for a lot of these people. But I just look at the Chicago Bears in a situation where you're coming off of the NFC North Championship, this way this roster is structured, how they attacked free agency, and how this draft is going to flow in front is not going to affect where I am going to rank these players. Now, if you're a patron, all my top fives, all Shane's top fives are out there. So you could see there's a big difference in the reality of where we stand in rankings. We're not influenced by anybody else's analysis. And trust me, if I see people doing tape work, then I like to listen, because a lot of people see different things, and it's good. I like to hear from coaches. My number one player in this entire draft is Ruben Bain. So in all transparency, if Ruben Bain was ever at 25, he would be the pick with ease. I would sprint to the podium because I think he is going to be a special player. However, some of the names here, are there more names, or is it just 4 that you get on that?
Yeah, I'm efforting here in the background. Just keep talking, my friend.
I won't reveal anything. So just looking at all these prospects and ranking them the way I ranked my top 5s and then ranked them as a whole, I just started to look at this defense and how it was structured. And I looked at this offense and how that was structured. And the revelation really came to me because this football player on tape showcases everything that I believe you need to be successful in the NFL. Now, a lot of people aren't talking about this guy. They weren't talking about him. You've heard me talk about him. You've heard Shane talk about him. We broke him down. And I just absolutely can't deny the elite level talent that I see on tape. He's not talked about like everybody else. He's not regarded highly, or as highly as he should be. But now his name is starting to be mentioned. It's just like clockwork, because it's just every year. It happened with Darnell Wright. I identified Darnell Wright before. I was just like, whatever. And Cars, I believe, as well, because I was shocked. I'm like, oh, Cars sees what I see too. And sure enough, Darnell went from a 3rd round pick to a 2nd round to a 1st round pick to 5th-year option picked up all pro. So the reality from what I see, this is where this football team, I think, needs to make this selection. If I was the GM and some of those names you had up on the board were there,
So
I have identified
just-
this player.
Yeah, real quick. So how this works, you see the poll down there. You just added some more names. So just put the number. You see the name, whatever number is next to that name, you put that
So
in
they
the
put it
chat,
in the chat and it shows up there,
and it shows up there. So yeah,
right here.
so you can, yep,
That's
right
amazing.
there it is. Drop it in the chat. We got the old interactive poll. We will use this more on draft night for you all. The first original poll that we put up, just so everybody knows, had Caden Proctor, Peter Woods, Lee Hunter, and Gabe Akis with
Silent
Caden.
J.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny Braggs. Caden Proctor leading the way with 14 total votes. On the second poll that we put up there, Caden McDonald is screaming up the charts at 11 total votes. We'll keep him up there for a little bit before you drop
Reveal.
some knowledge on everybody.
Now, I'm just saying this because there's always a me guy. Now, there's guys that are on both polls that I wouldn't be upset with. I can tell you who I'll be upset with. But some of these guys I wouldn't be upset with. But there's one guy that I think is going to be a superstar that isn't highly regarded and appreciated as much as he should be. Because when I look on the fucking tape, I see a guy that dominates, that plays with a high motor, that smothers quarterback. This is a term that I started using with my football players. When you get to the quarterback, there is no worry, no fear. You just encapsulate your whole body on top of him. So there's no penalty, there's no anything. You just smother him and take him to the ground. Don't leave any option for him to get away. Don't reach an arm out. Just get your body on him. And this football player encapsulated that.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, you don't put the name down. Just put the number next to the name that you think.
So it's weird. You can't put like 8 guys.
They restrict you to 4.
4. Okay.
So I'll put the newest one up.
So Caden Proctor is well ahead of everyone.
No, we
on
Caden McDonald. Well, and of course it's off. So Caden, the new poll or the newest poll is up
Cadens
there.
are out front.
Yeah. So right now, Caden McDonald is leading overall with 16 votes. Second place is Caden Proctor with 14. Third, Malachi Lawrence with 12. Cassius Howell is making a late run here. He's got 9. Then we go down to Peter Woods with 4. Akis with 2. Akeem Messidor with 1. And bringing up the rear, Lee Hunter, 0 votes.
My boy Lee Hunter.
Yeah.
Now, in all transparency, watching college football this past season, Lee Hunter was a guy that I was like, this guy would help us big time. And I love Lee Hunter. But after watching all the tape, another defensive tackle took over his spot. And that was Peter Woods that jumped to the number 1 defensive tackle in my top 5. So, and I'll explain Peter later.
Yeah.
But,
so, just real quick, just to show everybody what's going to go on tonight after Phil wraps up his portion, we may have a couple of guests dropping in. I think
5 guests.
Yeah, I think one may stay for a while. One might be here for a limited amount
Quickie.
of time.
A
We'll
quickie,
see. Yeah, a little
as
quickie.
Robert Kraft calls it.
Yeah. Ain't gonna be no tugging going on here. But then we will fire up the old mock draft simulator. I will run a live mock.
The Marsaw mock
The
draft you've been waiting for.
mock. Yes.
I've already done my mock.
I'm not going to draft an offensive lineman with neck issues like Ryan Cox did for us for the Bears a couple of years ago. Plays for the Steelers. I know I just saw Ryan in the chat, so I had to take a shot there.
Oh man!
Nice.
But seriously, before I reveal it, are you ready for the reveal? Should
Yeah,
I
let me
tell
just.
the story of you.
Yeah,
and-
go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm on the phone with Shane, asking him if I should surprise him. Does he have any thoughts? And he kind of wiggled his way into picking exactly.
Well, not really. There was a method to my madness. I explained it to you.
You want to explain it again?
Yeah, you said to me, do you want to guess? I'll tell you if you guess it right. And I said, I think I know, but the way that I'm going to explain it to you is Phil and I have been doing this an awful long time. And Phil and I rarely, I mean, we've bounced names off one another. Say, hey.
Usually like later guys, we always talk about.
Yeah.
Like
I'll
Landon
say, hey,
Robinson, you were talking to me.
Take a peek at this guy. But I just kind of know Phil's style, what he's looking for. So, of course, the first name that I brought up to Phil was Peter Woods. Because I knew what Phil was looking for. And then I brought up another name. I'm not gonna reveal anything past that. And then Phil's like, well, listen. So I broke my list down to 3 people. And well, let's just get into it. Let's drop it here, and then I will finish my story after your reveal. So we will know who it is. But here it is. Take it away, Phil. The DDP
with the 25th pick in the 2026 draft. If I was the GM of this team with Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, and what we have going on with the Chicago Bears, and if we truly want to get to the Super Bowl, there's a huge missing ingredient, and that's a smotherer. That's a finisher. That's someone that's going to go on the fucking field, that jumps off the tape and shows you that they love the game of football by the way they play. A true dog, a true explosive, athletic, unappreciated, pass rushing, defensive end from Central Florida, Malachi Lawrence. This kid, relentless, elite first step. Ryan Pace would come all over himself watching tape because of his great get off, Shane.
Yeah, I hear you.
He's got that game wrecking mentality. And when you go back and watch the TTNL breakdown and you trust the process, you understand that this guy has consistently done it on a football team that lacks great talent surrounding him. Like David Bailey and even Ruben, they have tremendous talent surrounding them. Central Florida lost Lee Hunter. This guy still got better. You look at my top 5s there. David Bailey, Ruben Bain are the only guys I have over him. And Malachi Lawrence, 11 tackles for a loss, led the team, 7 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. Dude ran a 4.53 40 twice. A 40-inch vert. A 45. That's NBA level at 6'4", 268 pounds. This kid has the elite bend and finish. And after all of this, the small school, small-minded, big draft people, Shane,
Yeah.
they don't see the tape ever clearly. So when you, like, if you're not a patron, like, if you have still stayed on that fence, and this is the time, because now you have a whole DVR of draft breakdowns and analysis of offensive tackles, defensive linemen, D tackles, D ends, everything you could possibly believe that the Bears are going to pick at 25. And this guy just brings a level that I really think the Bears need. And I'm excited about this football player. This is the guy I'll be praying for come Thursday night when the boys are on the clock, Shane. And I wanted to get my name on the guy before it happened, because I already smell the processors, the ditto analysts, and Shane and I have caught many of people. We know certain patrons use fake names.
He would not, Darth. No, I think he essentially just explained that. He's got Bain as the number 2 overall player available in the entire draft.
Yes. Bain is going to be a superstar in the NFL. You could just bank on that. I have Caleb Downs number 1.
Yep.
Bain number 2.
Real quick, I see people dealing with it in the chat, and I loaded it up on my end, and I do see it. So YouTube is feverishly pushing the ads out of nowhere, trying to get everybody to switch to YouTube Premium. But I can't do anything about it this show, but I promise you it will not be an issue as we move forward starting tomorrow. I fired off a nice little email as we went live and rectified that situation rather quickly. So we do apologize. That's kind of out of our control.
We can't control the ads, but we can control the truth. And Jessica got it right. I did not want to reveal my guy until draft weekend, which the weekend before the draft, which
if the Bears draft a tight end at 25, Mike, I would say just tune in. Because I will lose my fucking mind.
Oh, God. Mike can't be at the fight night. It's kind of a big letdown, Mike. I got to be honest. You have more back pedals than Deion Sanders right now. But in all truth, Malachi Lawrence, to me, is the guy at 25. That is the guy that's going to be the difference maker for the Chicago Bears. Oh, by the way, the Bears haven't drafted a defensive football player since 2018. Shane has documented the statistical lack of energy placed on the premium Holy Trinity position of defensive end pass rusher. And if Malachi Lawrence and Caden Proctor, Drew Black is asking me, were both available, it's Malachi Lawrence, because I am looking at this guy. I believe he's going to be a TJ Watt type difference maker. This guy can play in space. He is an elite level finisher and tackler at 6'4". The bend that this guy has. Cassius Howell and R. Mason Thomas have great bend. So does Bain. This guy's right there with him.
Speaking of great bend, Phil.
Bend on the golf course, I heard.
Yes, I mean kid was grinding on Monday.
Fucking guy, man.
I don't want to argue with him live on air. That's
you aren't getting him at 57, Logan. This is a first round talent. He might go before 25. If people are really doing the tape work, he might go before 25.
Yeah, you can't don't fall in love to where you see where people are mocking
PFF will put him in the second round. Great. They had Darnell Wright in the third. Like, we got to stop. TTNL has stood by the standard that they have done the work. If anybody should know that, it's you, Logan Roberts, as a patron. There's no hiding there. Just go back and watch the breakdown. And when I look at quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle, pass rusher is before left tackle, Mike Huff, last time I checked. So that's why you take the pass rusher, which you don't have. Who do you have at defensive end? If you went out there, if the Bears go out there, Shane, and pick Keldrick Falk, they have just drafted Deo again.
But yeah. No, I think he's got way more upside, but again, when you're basing everything on that, you and I chatted a little bit about that. I don't think the scheme at Auburn helped him at all.
The 3x3 scheme did not help him, but I do not. Malachi Lawrence's toolbox of hand usage and movement is, honestly, I can't believe guys aren't talking about this guy more. And the fact that I know a lot of people are
this
talking.
Should make you feel good, Phil.
Yeah, that's what I heard, because 2 weeks ago he wasn't talking about him like this. And I'm like, and I heard Todd McShay rip him. Like, I don't know, he's a little. No, don't be Central Florida bias. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Well,
let's bring Greg in. I know he doesn't know anything about Malachi Lawrence. So
he did a comprehensive breakdown with him. He's been in the bat cave all day working on these guys.
He?
Yeah, I think so.
There he is. He's blurry.
He is. He's blurry.
As
what?
Greg,
we're gonna have to argue.
A fat blunt.
We're gonna have to argue with
blurry?
Are we gonna argue about this, Greg?
We are not arguing anything because that's not
Are
possible.
Are you?
What's up, guys?
What's going on? So what did you think about the pick of Malachi Lawrence at 25 for Phil?
Well, I definitely agree that it's probably the name least talked about to this point. So, if there's building momentum here at the last second, that would be about it. Because outside of that, I think people have looked in different places. So, I mean, when you talk about scheme fit, he certainly fits that mold, right? So it's just going to be a question of, A, do you think he'll be there, and B, is that going to be more valuable than maybe some of the left tackle options?
I don't think you skip over for a left tackle at this point. If he's there, it's just he's too good. You can't argue that. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, I could though. I could. I mean, when you talk about,
I know you can.
Yeah, with the offensive line. I mean, to me, I just think they need to protect that unit for the next few years. And between not knowing what your left tackle is, not knowing how many more years you have left with Joe Thuney, and, Jonah Jackson, you hope he sticks around, but, no guarantees. And right now his contract is what it is.
Well, this is what's going to happen, Greg. They're going to take my guy because they're starting to get smart and start drafting dogs. Like, there's players on tape that I can say, I don't know if they truly love the game. They might have some talent. There's no doubting this. I've been right about this 99.9% of the time. I could the guys that are dogs. What I can't do is see the injuries and all that stuff. Like, there was no shot that I wanted Leonard Floyd at all. I just didn't. I just thought he was a one-trick. He was a scheme guy that ran game stunts, and he had great speed. He's off the ball. It's the same thing, Arvell Reese. The way they talk about Arvell Reese, I don't see it. This is a middle linebacker, outside linebacker, off the ball.
Zierlein's got him as the
number one player
prospect
in the entire draft. You
That was another one you and I didn't talk about, Phil.
100%. When I
mentioned-
saw you write it, I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was coming out with that this week.
I put out my top fives. I released my top fives on Patreon before Phil did. And unfortunately, we know how AI works with some stuff. And it was, I had a couple of people that are like, well, where's Reese? I'm like, not in my top five. It's just, can I be intrigued by the guy? But yeah, you want to play him at Sam Backer? Okay, fine. You want to project him to defensive end in the fucking NFL? I got a big problem with it. I think that's the ultimate. Oh well, he's yoked up, he's explosive, and that just means he's going to be a great defensive player. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't.
100% agree. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you have to be careful with, when you talk about projection to a different, whole different position and the type of players you're going up against. And what we've learned here in Chicago, right, is you got to pray you get on the right coaching staff. I think that's another big part of the equation when you're trying to develop guys. So to me, like, who's the offensive lineman, right? Isn't the offensive lineman out of Arizona State, like, he just started playing offensive line?
Yeah, my guy.
He's playing football. He got a late start to football in general.
Right, that's what I mean. He's kind of like Zach Edey in that regard, right? If I can drop a Boilers reference in.
Phil's trying to figure out who that is.
I know who he is because I met him.
He didn't start playing basketball until his junior year, so there's like two trains of thoughts when you have a guy like that, right? That is ascending so quickly, but is still so raw. Yeah. Then you're saying, okay, well, this is how much better he's going to get over the next 5 years. But this is something I brought up on our shows here before, but like something I think Michael Jordan kind of ruined me of was not all players get better every year.
No, they don't.
So it does come down to coaching. It, does come down to your internal discipline, but it also, you can be the hardest working player in the world, but at some point there might be a top out in terms of how much you can develop your talent. So you kind of have to be careful about how you project guys and which way they're going to go.
Well, for me, looking at all the tape that I do, and Max Hennecore, I told Shane back in December, this guy's going to be in the first round. He is Darnell Wright, like, physical. You could tell he's a fucking sponge for the game. And I'm excited about a Hennecore. I would not be upset at all if the Bears took a left tackle. I have Caden Proctor number 1. I have a Hennecore number 3 behind the kid from Miami. That's how highly I think of him. And this guy here, I believe David Bailey is going to be special as well. High on him, and obviously you could see it. But Malachi Lawrence, if we ever got this kind of animal opposite Montez Sweat with a rotation of Austin Booker, now you're getting a level of pass rush that is going to not only help your defense, but it's going to help your offense, because he is going to be able to do things that none of these guys can do. I'm telling you, the toolbox for this guy, every offensive coordinator is recognizing this guy's got to be chipped. He's got to be doubled when you're going against such, and he's still winning, and he's running all over the field. Like, the motor is TJ Watt or Max Crosby, like.
Right. And that's it is. Well, it's also critical, and it's critical. You can say whatever you want about Ben's demeanor and Ben's tempo and expectation doesn't change because he's looking at the defensive side of the ball. His high expectations, his high motor mentality translates to the other side of the ball just as well, and that's critical. And
100%, Shane. At
who would you most
6'5", think about this real quick. 6'5", he's got a 1.59 10-yard split.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's bro, and he's 253 pounds, going to be 260 pounds.
Yep.
When you get this kind of size speed ratio with that kind of tenacity,
right,
It's a shame. It's maybe the gods are looking down on us. I know Daniel Jeremiah is now making a late run at my guy, but the reality is if the Bears are able to get Malachi Lawrence at defensive end, they've done several things for their football team, and all of them are good.
Well, we got our other guest in the
we do.
hopper there, so maybe we can get him to talk about your pick at 25. You want to add him there?
Well, I
Bill?
got to make sure we have all 4 cameras up. There we go.
There he is.
I'm going to have to fix
Look at this guy.
camera, give him more size. Right now, he looks smaller than Greg.
That's
doing,
unfortunate. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. This music is something. We don't have this technology over at CHGO Bears.
We do. We just don't play it.
Yeah. We try to tell Greg to do stuff like this, but he doesn't. He's no Patrick Norton over there, Carm.
He isn't. Patrick Norton's been dominating Greg since he walked in the door. We know this.
So Carm, DDP put in his pick for a must-have player at 25, and it was edge rusher Malachi Lawrence. If we pivoted to you with this, do you have a favorite guy that you want the Bears to, focus in on, or a must-have pick at 25?
Let's go off the board here. Must have, move down, get more picks. We want out. We want extra swings. We don't want to draft the 3rd or 4th safety or the 8th offensive lineman. So I would love to see the Bears be able to stack and try to add on to the draft pool. But if you're asking for a player, I'm just not going to believe that the Minnesota Vikings are going to take Dylan Thieneman, and he's going to fall to the Bears, and you're going to get somebody that is listening to Kobe Bryant today talking about, like, hey, listen, I'm happy to bring a rookie along. So I would love to see them prioritize the defensive line, but if you told me you get a lockdown starter at safety coming in here, that would feel pretty good.
So Thieneman is your guy there, or is there another safety there?
I don't know. No, I don't really have.
I know you like Caleb Downs, like me.
Yeah, no, well, right. That was
Greg told me about.
I called Carm on Sunday, and I'm like, "What have you been doing?" And he's like, "I've been spending 9 hours grinding draft tape."
Proud of you, Carm.
And he sounded serious too. Like I thought he was joking. And then he came with homework, or then he came with written proof of his homework today on the show.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. I was amazing. I like the nose tackle from Ohio State. What's his name?
Caden McDonald.
Yeah. So listen, I get it. He doesn't sack the quarterback, but he stops the run, and he's a big dude in the middle, and we have nothing there. Not a sexy pick. Maybe, so this is why I'm saying trade down, because he's mocked a lot, 34 to 40, somewhere in there. But if you told me they just dropped in McDonald, I'd have no problem with that. So here's the thing: I don't think whatever the Bears do, considering the fact they have so many needs, that I'm gonna hate anything any which way they go. But the fact that Gervon Dexter is still the highest drafted defensive lineman in Ryan Poles' career, at some point that's got to change. So this would be, do I trust that they'll get it right? Not fully, but I trust it a lot more with Ben.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Carm. We've talked about it here for a long time, and it's not, great football knowledge to say that the game is won in the trenches. We all know that, but Ryan Poles, I sent it to Greg, and I know he brought it up on your guys' show too. You cannot be involved in 4 drafts, 5 drafts, and the highest defensive end that you have drafted is it makes me mental. It's 2 guys in the 5th round through all those drafts.
Right.
And you've also drafted 2 punters in the same over that same time span, and the highest one was Torrey Taylor in round 4. And I know Adam Schefter, I thought it was interesting on his podcast. he went down pick by pick in order in the first round. He said the Bears are going pass rusher at 25. He said, I think that there's an outside shot at offensive tackle, but he said the Bears will draft a defender. It'll be a pass rusher at 25. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes because Montez Sweat is a good player. He's not a great player. He's paid like a great player. He's just he's a Alex Brown plus. He's a 8 sack guy, 9 sack. He might get you double digits every other year. Who knows? But the Bears have to double down to me on the defensive line. You talk about Caden Proctor. Phil and I brought him up with Fran Duffy on CHGO After Dark.
McDonald, Caden
McDonald. Yeah, sorry. And everybody they say that he's not a pass rusher. Well, he had 9 tackles for a loss as a nose tackle in college football. That's an amazing stat. And he's also just dominant. He's 21 years old, just turned 21. So to your point, Carm, if you bring him in at 25, he's a pillar piece to your entire defense moving forward.
Right. And look, I think we all get a little bit more confidence nowadays because Colston Loveland wasn't the number 1 tight end on the board last year.
He was our number 1. Well, not mine, but Shane's.
That's a good job, Shane. But over consensus, he wasn't. Luther Burden dropped. The Bears never get these things right. It's always wrong. Last year it was right. So hopefully Ben's impact on this will be significant because I'm not going to. I don't want to run Ryan into the ground here, but his track record with identifying.
Yeah, but you know what?
100% Carm.
You know what?
Don't let Greg try to pump polls up a little bit.
No. You know what I was gonna say though, in terms of things fell the Bears' way for once last year. And I think this just kind of bridges into what happened in the season. And I just think good teams, good coaching staffs, good organizations find their way into luck because they're put in positive positions more times than not. And so where last year, okay, they still had a lot of work to do, but they had a coaching staff that knew what they were doing. So while it looked like to us, they're in a tough spot and everything fell their way. Well, not to them because they knew that they could turn these players into who they turned into. And then even during the season, just if you're talking about the game on the field, how many times did things bounce their way? Well, it's because they're in the right positions for things to bounce their way. So I just think that's something we're not used to over the last 5, 10, 15 years is a team that's in better positions than they are, whether it's in a draft room or on the field.
See, this is the problem with Bears fans like Braggs, guys, because he'll sit there and tell you that, no. If Mitch Trubisky was coached correctly, he'd be good. But and then when they finally actually do pick somebody good, now it's the coaching staff that coached him up.
No. I was consistent with this. Time out. Because
he should have listened to his boy Phil, because I've always said coaching is the most important thing.
We talked about this before they got Ben. I said it was a coaching issue. It was a coaching issue. And
so you're saying that a coach would have fixed Velus Jones? Are you saying that?
No, but I'm just saying if we're going off of the year before they got Ben to the year they got Ben, I think that's a perfect example of. Now, obviously, if you're going to go Caleb Mitch, I'm not going to compare talent. It's night and day. But if we're just talking about coaching up players, even if they're lesser talent, that's what they did last year as opposed to any year before that.
I'm sorry. I'm honestly not trying to say that coaching doesn't matter because that would be completely moronic. Ben Johnson got Caleb to where he's at from where Matt Eberflus had him. And if Matt Eberflus was still here, we'd probably be talking about, do we need to draft a quarterback? So coaching matters big time. But I do think that he's also helping out with talent evaluation, which gives me a little more confidence. So there's a combination there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're 100% right. I don't give much in confidence to Ryan Poles based on his track history. It's not coincidental that with Ben, those selections were made identifying real football players that are going to fit what it is he wants to build and have a standard of accountability and love the game of football. You heard Carm a whole transition. Even with Ian Cunningham leaving, Jeff King keeps, I don't know how many times he's said it now. I've counted 3. It might be more because I didn't hear 1920 that came out. But he keeps talking about we're looking at for football players, guys that love the game. That's a different standard than before where there's traits and times and RAS scores. It seems to be a little different under Ben.
Well, don't you think that Ben probably sits back and lets him pick the defensive players? If we go back to last year's draft, who are the defensive players?
Yeah, Shamar Turner, Ruben Hippolyte. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
well,
but I think that,
Ruben
I
Hippolyte
think
was
that's
the
a
most
change.
the
I do
most
think that's a
embarrassing
change this
thing.
offseason is I do think this is a change this offseason is that Ben let him pick the groceries on defense last year, and this year I think he's more hands-on.
It better be, Greg, because that's the number one thing that worries me about Dennis Allen and what he's shown in his history is, and Phil and I have talked about this multiple times, is he's so fixated on a specific type of defensive end. And it just, you can't be that way in the 2026 NFL. It's, it's like Baskin Robbins. You got to have the 32 different flavors. You got to have a whole different arsenal. You got to have the big guys and the guys that can bend and get around the corner. All these guys can't be 6'7", 290. It just, it doesn't work that way. And if they get to, 25 on Thursday night, and let's just say they have Cassius Howell as their top pass rusher, then they should take Cassius Howell, even though he's smaller than what DA is used to at defensive end.
100% agree. You have to go based on what it is the player brings to the table. You look at it. I mean, Gervon Dexter, to Carm's point, I mean, one of the inconsistent dick teases you've ever seen at defensive lineman. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. Still, they roll him out there to start. There's that side of the football has been a shit show. What was the defensive tackle he missed on from South Carolina? I always
Zach Pickens.
Pickens, thank you. Pickens. If Ruben Hippolyte might be the most embarrassing showcase where he's like, we're going to shock the NFL and take this undrafted linebacker who runs.
Shock everybody.
Yeah, you shocked everybody, including me. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I got nothing on this guy. And sure enough, they didn't get anything on this guy either. So it does give you pause, Carm. I agree with you, but I think Jeff King is going to be more of a voice this year, and that's where you got to hope Ryan Poles just trusts his scouts here.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to, Ryan's had some good wins. Kyler's a win. Brisker was a win. Braxton Jones is a win. I mean, we could keep going, but I'm just talking about elite home run talents. We don't have any of we didn't have any until last year.
Well, Darnell Wright, I would argue, is a home run talent. Okay, I really believe that.
We can put Darnell in there. I mean, it's a 10th overall pick. It's a little tall for me, but it's still it's a good one. There's no doubt about that. It's like it's not like finding Braggs on the construction site and all of a sudden.
Well, that would be my elite pick.
Yeah,
because
I mean, it's the mayor of Chicago media. It's unbelievable.
So I'm like the Tyson Bagent of Chicago media. Is that what you're saying?
Well, don't put yourself in that category. That's so, the elite of the elite.
Carm,
what do you mean? I was an elite bricklayer.
Carm, you should be happy. I'm the guy that I was pushing for Tyson Bagent to be drafted the year that he came out.
Yes, he was, Carm.
I was the guy. Now I got to ask you flat out. Braggs wanted me to ask. He said he's too scared to ask you live on CHGO.
All right, time out.
Who is the best quarterback on the Chicago Bears roster right now?
Listen, Listen, I know this one always gets me in trouble, but I'm just telling you. No chips are off the table on what Tyson's going to do in this league for me. He'll be here one more year learning from Ben. That is an elite apprenticeship. Someone's going to give him a shot, and my chips will all be in on what Tyson's doing. If you want to say that Caleb's, the ninth best quarterback in the league, and Tyson's 10, go ahead. I'll listen to that.
So let me ask it to you this way then, Carm. If you were the GM of a football team and both quarterbacks were available, and you had the number 1 pick and you had to take a quarterback, who are you taking between Tyson Bagent and Caleb Williams?
So that's a good way of asking it. And sure, of course,
you're running out of time, Carm. You only got 3 minutes on the clock.
You're going to draft the guy with the rocket arm and this thing that doesn't gets talked about enough. But if you're asking me who is going to be, like, after watching what I've seen from Tyson, one of the greatest throws in preseason NFL history last year to John A. Walker to win, to set the tone for the season on a miracle season. Let's not forget about that, on an impeccable drive. Again, I believe in 17 fully, and those who don't, they'll find out. Guys like that, there's to me, it's a safe bet. That is a very high floor. How high of the ceiling that does he hit, I'm not sure. But if he gets in the right scenario, like New York Jets, Arizona Cardinals, complete moron organizations that they weren't. The Arizona Cardinals, if you could have gotten Bagent for a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd-round pick, you make that deal, dummies. But they didn't do it, so fair enough.
They still, it could happen Thursday night.
Nope.
It could. It better not.
The Bears trade up and get Caleb Downs, and they give up a 2nd and Tyson Bagent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It could happen, Carm.
So where are you right now, Carm?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm as I told you, Gregory, I'm at Big Brothers Big Sisters. We just so I'm in my car outside of the facility here, and we got a big tennis match tonight in 62 minutes against my nemesis. So I do got to run and get these old bones stretched out at the Midtown Athletic Club, greatest place on the history of the planet. And hopefully I'll see Tyson there, and we'll, he'll give me the extra motivation that I need.
Well, we can't appreciate you more for coming on. And Carm, we don't hate you here at all. Those rumors.
No matter what Greg says.
No matter what Greg or anybody says, we do love to break your balls. And you are the kind of guy that has a thick skin and understands if you're not breaking chops, then you're really not doing it right. So
we're a little timid on Emma. We will be honest there, but we like you, Carm.
Thank you. Listen, I appreciate it. Everything you've done for me in taming the wild beast that is Greg Braggs. I'll never be able to fully repay you.
There's no taming them. Yeah. They instigate.
Yeah. Well, you've done something to at least break him back a little bit. So I credit you guys on the daily, and continued success.
Do you think that you'll be able to properly promote After Dark? Because you struck out again today.
Do it, Carm. We're your friends. I have a picture of me and you together at the tailgate.
Yeah. Listen, I thought I did a great job today promoting After Dark. Greg just doesn't like how I do it.
You know what I think? But time out. I just had a light bulb idea.
Know.
What we need to do, Greg. Carm, what we need to do is have you film like a taped infomercial about watching After Dark that night, and make it super calm and cheesy. And then instead of you having to remember your lines, we have this video that we can play on the weeks After Dark is being played.
There you go.
Listen. Right now we can do it with me in the dark in my car.
So I got to share this story with you real quick. When I was at the CHGO tailgate, and I got to meet you, Carm, and when I met Adam Hogue, Greg was telling him where I was from. And he's like, yeah, Shane's from Syracuse, blah, blah, blah. And Hogue turns to me. He's like, oh, Syracuse. Loved it there. I visited there. I almost went to college, but I couldn't handle the winters. And so I pivoted to him. I'm like, oh, so you transitioned to Wisconsin? And he looked at me like I was the craziest person in the world. And that was the end of our conversation.
That's a great job right there, because you put Hogue in his Hogue place, and he still remembers that moment. So, but I do to do a slight Hogue defense. I do hear the winters in Syracuse are just a different level than anywhere else. I don't know if maybe that's changed in our global warming society, but my friend Rob Ginsburg, the great Rob Ginsburg,
Yep.
he used to whine and moan all because he went to Syracuse. He whined and moaned about it all the time. But he did throw an alley oop to was it Rasheed Wallace? Did he go to Syracuse? Is that right?
No,
With North
Carmelo
Carolina.
Anthony.
Carmelo?
No. What Wallace went to Syracuse?
John Wallace.
John
yep.
Wallace.
From Greece Athena in Rochester, New York. Yes.
Yeah.
John Wallace.
Yeah. John Wallace was his guy back in the day. He ooped him. And then
Nice.
Wallace was hammered that night and told him that he's like, Gins. And I can't use this language on your show. But it was,
You're allowed to swear, but
it was something along the lines of, Mother Effers would be talking about that alley-oop all night. And that was the highlight of his life.
Nice.
He ooped Wallace. So that's my Syracuse story.
well,
good,
All right.
good
can't
luck.
thank you enough, Carm. I don't give a fuck what Greg says about you. I'm proud that you came on. You showed your identity. You're a true friend. We appreciate you coming on the show. Even the fans were shocked. We didn't even promote it. It was like a surprise because it was up in the air.
Well, Greg said he's like, Carm said, fuck that. I'm not going on TTNL.
Yeah, that's what
Greg
told
texted us.
He was like, guys, he can't do it. He's got a tennis appointment.
I don't exactly know how much more clear I could have been. I'm free from 7:30 till a little bit after.
They're
8.
lying. Don't listen to them.
But
fair enough.
All the
My
best,
pleasure.
Carm.
Very
My
good,
pleasure.
man.
Pleasure.
Good
Please.
luck with your
Thank you.
Take
tennis.
it to him. Take it to
Thank
your
you.
rival.
Yep.
Thank you. Go enjoy your crown and diet. Try a push-up. Thank you.
He's been working out. He's getting back.
He's getting there.
Trying to get him to game day health. Get him in there.
I know.
Perfect. So, Greg, I didn't ask you. We did your live mock draft last year
Last year.
on the Monday of the draft.
Yeah.
I don't remember who you picked, but
Me neither.
who would be your must-have
Sure,
at
do it,
25?
Well, I mean, like a week ago when I did my mock draft, big board. Or not mock draft. I did my big board, my top 4 players.
Yes.
Big
How
I
long
had-
did it? How long did it?
big-ass
I mean,
board.
Waldman has what 1,700 pages in his RSP.
Well, no, it wasn't Waldman because this was a O-line guy, but and defensive guys. So
Yeah.
for me, I did start with Dylan Thieneman. Now I know he's not going to be there, but if you're asking me, must draft,
Might be there. Like,
right? No,
this
I
is
get
the
that.
NFL
It's-
draft. You can't because someone's telling you that he's probably going to the Vikings to
Shane, do you
replace
think he's
their
gonna be there
other
at 25?
safety. That was
Thieneman?
a white dude.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't think
Right.
he's going to be available. At
So
25.
I understand what you're saying, Phil,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's
Would
going
that be your guy if he was
Yeah,
there?
100%.
You would
that-
take would
That's
you would
what we
take him
wanna-
over any of the Are you high on any of the pass rushers at all?
No, I mean,
He doesn't
I
trust
could be
his friend,
talked into
though.
Peter. I could be talked into Peter Woods. I think. I don't really feel comfortable with any of the edge guys outside of Mesidor, and obviously Mesidor might not make sense from value of age, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm trying to
Just too
see how
You
the Bears
should
can.
be.
No, I want
totally agree with you.
the best
think
this
that
team
needs
can
to
be
be
over
said.
the next 2 years. And if you tell me Mesidor can walk in and immediately be a game changer, no development. I mean, at that age, there's no more development of his game. This is just a plug and play, game wrecker. Then I would do that. But because of his age, I'd slide, safety ahead of it. And then you could kind of fight through 2 and 3, whether it be Emmanuel McNeil Warren or Caden Proctor. Like I flip back and forth. I would probably put Caden Proctor 2 right now. Because if you were to ask me who I think they're actually going to draft, and I was asked by my guy David at the gym this morning, and I said Caleb Lomu. It's not who I would draft, but I know he's kind of hovering around that area, and I know other people have brought up his name before. But if I just had to, if you asked me to actually guess and put money on who I think the Bears are going to draft, not who I would draft, I think Caleb Lomu is really. And then I did see Matt Miller put it out today. That's who his pick is. And last year, he gets some credit because he got Colston Loveland pick right.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to work with Lomu there. My biggest concern,
is a big athlete.
Yeah, my biggest concern is plenty of times on tape he's got a chance to just destroy the guy, to send a message, and he throttles back. And I don't know. I don't know if you ever changed that in the NFL.
Well, just let me speak on this because it was done for the patrons yesterday. I broke down Fano. How do we say his name? Fano or Fano?
Yep, Spencer.
And Lomu at the same time. And Fano is wildly better than Lomu.
Yep.
Lomu, though, has great athleticism, but he plays way too high, and he doesn't have the killer instinct there. It just isn't there.
And listen,
you're right.
You don't always have to have that. I mean, you can.
He doesn't finish.
You can look around plenty of guys in the NFL that don't have that level of fuck you in them that Phil and I covet.
Yeah, but so does Dan Richard.
Right. Well, exactly. And I think that's the thing when you talk about how critical coaching is. And that's one thing. Darnell Wright showed that, but I think Darnell Wright could amp it up even more. And I think the Bears would love that.
Lomu is not similar to Ozzy.
Lomu
is 20 times more athletic.
As I said earlier, man,
he has great athleticism and feet. He just doesn't finish, and he plays too high, so he's gonna lose. Ozzy actually played a little bit lower than he did.
Yeah, I've seen. Listen, I love Jacob Rodriguez, but if you come away and your first pick's a fucking linebacker, I got a humongous fucking problem with it.
Good with that if you hit your edge.
Oh, right.
Like the Bears can't draft a corner, a wide receiver. You just can't. They have to go defensive line.
I think it was Logan earlier asked me what my gut feel for the Bears was, or what I think that the Bears would do. This isn't my pick, and I told Phil this.
Honeycore over Lomu every day.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Greg.
Yeah.
As far as talent, he can play the left tackle. He's a finisher. He's got
what I have
athlete.
Yeah, what I have a feeling, and there's probably going to be a lot of upset people. My gut feeling that is going to be in play for the Bears at 25 when we get there on Thursday night is that the Bears turn in the card and they draft Blake Miller, the offensive tackle from Clemson. Because when I watch Blake Miller, I see a lot of Taylor Decker, and I think that Ben Johnson would covet that.
He does.
Blake Miller's
plays with a fucking tenacity.
He's got a level of fuck you in him that others don't.
Lomu does not have the same.
Yep. I like Miller. I don't love Miller because I just think that there's better players available. That's the way that I feel. I'm simply giving you my
Malachi
my gut
Lawrence
feeling.
or nobody, Greg. Fuck that. Can't believe you didn't believe
Give me
in me.
tackle or give me death.
Give me Malachi or give me nothing. That
No, I mean, I said it earlier in the show, and that's why. I mean, I definitely have tunnel vision, and I have for a while. I've kept my mind open to D-line and safety. They're certainly on the table. As Carm said earlier, like, I don't think there's a position. I know you guys are more hardline. Obviously, we're taking wide receiver out of it because I think if anyone is going to be shocked, if
I
they take
would
wide receiver.
fucking vomit.
So that's why I
just.
just take that off the
took a tight end or a wide receiver.
I just take that off the table in terms of what I'm saying here. But like
Yeah.
you Phil, you say if they drafted corner, I'd be pissed. I don't necessarily have a realistic position that they could draft there and would say I would be pissed if they draft him. So that's where Carm is right, where he's like, oh, he's the guy like the Bears fan that'll believe in Mitch. Well, yeah, like who they draft, once they draft them, like I'm not going to immediately say, it's not going to work out. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that I don't put that cart before the horse. And to me, the people that do, if you're going to say that, like you better have done your homework on these guys before you start writing them off. Like, so to me, I like to get my eyes on them once I see them at camp. And then I can kind of get a more definitive opinion on if I feel like they made the right move or not. But so I just don't really think there is a position that I'm going to be pissed about outside of, like, obviously wide receiver would be shocking, or tight end, something like of that nature. But to me, it's going to be, you have to go offensive line. I just keep coming back to this, and it has given me
I don't agree.
They just there's just too much of a house of cards at that position group over the next 2 years.
They have guys.
Got to have some kind of
assurance. Braxton Jones returning, and they have the kid Wills that they got from Cleveland. They also have Theo Benedict. They also have the option to move their all-pro guard to left tackle too.
But I'm not just talking about just.
You don't have a pass rush, Craig, and you've never drafted a defensive lineman in the first round under polls.
Yeah, and I think people need to. This isn't a direct shot at Braxton Jones and his work ethic. To me, Braxton is who Braxton is. He's got the same issues in year 4, in year 5 that he had when he came into the league. He's got those thin pins. His legs are. That's why he has a problem anchoring. Is that going to get better? I just don't think it is. People say, "Oh, he wasn't healthy last year." Well, he was the year before that and the year before that. And guess what? He couldn't anchor. Is that all of it? Is he going to figure it out this year? No. If you break down his contract, the Bears gave him a contract of a swing tackle, which is a backup. I think it's a mistake if people just automatically think that and assume this guy's going to start.
Yeah, I have zero expectation for Braxton going into this year, and anything that he does above that will be, a bonus to me. I'm not setting myself up for, if he does this, and he's just going to work out, And same with Jedrick Wills. Right?
Who's saying this?
Yeah, please find out that dude's name.
Let me know. Please. Not a caller. Was it Shay Snorlin?
No.
Snorlin?
Oh yeah, I got the name right here. It was Mrs. Jones.
See, but I see James Daniel in the chat saying he agrees left tackle is a concern at 25. It's not just about left tackle though, right? Like you're picking a guy in either Ohanic or Lomu that could potentially, like, if Ozzie does work out in a year, that's great. Are you
predicting, or this is what you want?
No, I'm just saying of why it makes sense
mixing
beyond
two.
But no, I'm not. I've told you if the board was there for me, I'm taking Dylan Thieneman. That's
Proctor,
I'm just like
Malachi Lawrence, Thieneman, McNeil Warren is there. Woods is there. Those 5 guys. Caden Proctor.
I'm not taking McNeil Warren at 25.
Yeah,
McNeil Warren. I'm talking to him. Don't help him.
I said Thieneman would
over
be
all of those guys.
And then Caden Proctor too. But that's only because I would normally take the tackle first, but Thieneman falling to 25 feels like stealing.
I don't see it that way. I would take Malachi Lawrence over all those guys. Then it would be a tug of war between Woods and Proctor. Thieneman would be after those guys because I think the value of the position has to take precedence as well. At Thieneman, I have as a second safety. I actually might have him as the third safety. I can't remember in my head because I like Warren more than Shane. I think Thieneman is the second safety.
Yeah,
But
so
anyway.
my top 5 safeties go Caleb Downs, Dylan Thieneman, Jalen Kilgore, AJ Halsey, and then I have McNeil Warren at number 5. I would not draft him at 25.
You don't like my guy.
I think he's got issues in coverage.
Max AO loves that guy.
Yeah, that's
He had
fine.
to put him in the song. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
bro. You're making
That's why he's rapping and not drafting.
I want him to come on. He's rapping and not drafting. Oh, that was a good one, Shane. You are good at it. Yes, I do
try.
have him. I have McNeil Warren over Thieneman. I knew I did.
Yeah.
But it's very close. Those two are very good players. But I just don't get behind a safety over a Malachi Lawrence. I'm telling you.
I just
TJ
listen.
Watt, that's what you're going to be getting. In this
I think
kind of
people
football.
have. I don't know. You put money into Kobe Bryant. I just don't understand what world we live in that it's a priority that you have to get him a running mate in the first round of the draft. When let's just be honest. Other than Austin Booker, are there any other defensive ends on the roster that are guaranteed to be on the roster in 2027? No, there's
that's-
not. And
that's why you're winning.
and defensive tackle. Shamar Turner is going to be here. Who's guaranteed?
They signed 5 guys at defensive tackle.
But it's just listen,
They got
man,
Grady Jarrett. They got
I
Neville
think
Gallimore.
I think Kilgore is going higher than anybody fucking expects. That kid
I
is-
like Kilgore.
But that's why when you ask, like, I can't imagine why give a running mate to, Kobe Bryant, when you've got defensive end issues. Well, the reason would be in this scenario that we're talking about is because Thieneman shouldn't fall to his level of talent is too high to fall to 25 to pass on him.
I will say this: if the
I
Bears,
don't know how you have them that high.
if the Bears do that,
25's not that high.
if the Bears go safety or corner at 25, I have a
saying
feeling
he
that
can't fall to 25.
I have a feeling that 57 and 60 are going to be sold for the Bears to move up.
If you take a Thieneman at 25, you better trade up to get an edge rusher.
Yeah, and you have to.
Because if you don't, you are the fucking dumbest GM. Mr. Uncrustable continues.
And I'm not arguing they shouldn't get a defensive end. And if that's Malachi Lawrence at 25, totally understand that. But when you said earlier, a few minutes ago, Shamar Turner, defensive tackle, I wouldn't necessarily be calling him that. I think they liked more of what they saw from him as a defensive end. Now that might confuse, them trying to figure out their roster construction over the next year while him and Dio try to figure out what they're actually good at on the line. But I'm just telling you, after hearing at the end of the year, I think they liked him more on the edge. Not saying they don't need more edge help. I'm just telling you, Shamar Turner should be included in that conversation.
Osmonic, it's a great point. Please look at their contract. Listen, everybody up here understands that. But you cannot work under the philosophy that if you don't take a safety at 25, that you're not going to find one later.
Exactly. Bud Clark from TCU.
I feel confident. I feel confident I can find you a safety.
I feel confident too. Can we go into 57 and come away with a pass rusher that you're going to like?
Listen, I'm a Thieneman fan. But do I like Thieneman at 25 more than I like Halsey at 57?
But you can't. You're talking about, a bird in the hand, two in the bush, whatever.
Oh, no, I get it.
We're talking Thieneman's there at 25, and you're risking I'm gonna wait because Halsey will be there at 57.
No, because
which you don't know in this scenario. You have Thieneman sitting there with your ticket.
Thieneman to you,
not over a pass rusher for me.
You
no
can't put
way.
him. I just want to see what your ranking is, because if you were to rank these guys, how is Messidor not over Thieneman for you? Since you mentioned him.
I mean, obviously,
because of his age. No, he's 26. He's not.
Well, they're
36.
both very good players. So if you're going with both very good players, and I'm gonna go with the younger option, that's not a bad process.
Yeah, and this is to Greg's point.
Positional value has to play into it. I don't know their fucking bear rankings, Greg.
To Greg's point, I'm going to tell you right now, don't be fucking shocked if Kilgore doesn't fucking sneak into the tail end of the fucking first round for a team, or very, very high in round 2. I'm telling you right now.
I know how to
I like Messidor, and if that's who they take, I'll be fine with. I'll be excited for that. But the other reason, if you're asking me for an argument against him over Thieneman, if you're picking nits, he also had injuries, in his 6-year college career. So
I can find safeties. We have a hard time
and
finding pass rushers.
The Bears have Eddie Jackson was a 4th round pick.
Namde Tucker from Western Michigan.
Well, let's slow down on saying it's easy for the Bears to find safeties. I'm
just saying it's a
they've had two
position.
In the last 10 years. They've had 2 years of good safety combination. Last year in 2018 with Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson, and outside of that, in the last 25 years,
4th and a 5th round pick.
They can never find safeties.
Well, the one thing I could say Ryan Poles is good at is picking corners and safeties, whether it be undrafteds, 2nd, 3rd round picks. He's been able to find those. He has never been able to find the pass rush. He's traded for it. Everyone's putting Austin Booker in some elite level. He's not proven yet. I like the ascension that he was having, but there's nothing there opposite of it. And before you say Shamar Turner, he's got a rod in his leg and he's coming off an injury, playing another position. Deo, same thing. Oh, we like him better inside. We paid him like he's outside, like an edge. The Holy Trinity, you found the quarterback. And before you give him credit for that, I gotta give him credit for holding off, getting that first overall pick. There's a lot of luck involved, and he took the right quarterback. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. We all know the Iceman and the reality of Caleb Williams and where he is. It's just evident, right? And the talent that he is. It's not even a debate.
This is the thing too, Illini. It's that's your ranking.
Yeah, that's your ranking. I put up my ranking again.
So here's the other point that when you see this,
there's my defensive ends right there. I put it on the Malachi Bailey Malachi Lawrence, which they spelled it wrong, but it's an AI thing. Cassius Howell, Akeem Messidor, Joshua Joseph. Anyone talking about him? And TJ Parker.
Looks like they spelled Malachi Lawrence on the moon.
Yeah.
AI loves
if we ever could land there, they probably would have gotten it spelled right.
Yeah, and I
don't trust astronauts, but you'll trust AI.
Yeah. Logan's been banging the drum for the Bears to go up into the top 10. I mean, you're mortgaging.
If this is me, if he's there at 12 and we're talking about giving up the 60th pick or the 57th.
Oh no, you're giving up.
I would do it.
You're giving up an abs. Listen, when you moved up for Justin Fields, you went from 20 to 11 with the Giants. And you gave up a first-round pick plus.
But from what I understand, this year it may not cost as much to move up based off of the value of this
Listen,
year's draft.
I think that they
would
say
you
that.
give up
They
the
say that every year.
57th and
the team that
25th?
wants to trade up is saying that. To
Yeah,
everyone now,
exactly.
listen.
Let's just do it like this, though, Shane. For this is what I would you give up
No,
the 57th and the 25th to get Bain?
If he was available at 10, if that's all I had to give
10
up,
or 12, yeah.
sure.
Okay, yeah, I agree with
But
that.
it's that you're never moving up from 25 to number. I will bet $10,000.
We'll give him
cash.
Gervon Dexter because
Yeah.
Hardball loves those
Yeah, you
big
could
6'6".
Shit in the bag and put a fucking stamp on it. Give him that too. They ain't
Well,
gonna take it.
And that's kind of where, like, when I start, I guess what I basically am showing my hand is when I start to identify a player that I say, oh, I feel comfortable with this guy being taken at 25. If I'm looking at a safety and saying, I like Dylan Thieneman, right? Yeah, he's a Big Ten guy. Probably watched him play a few more times. He's got a ton of speed. He's got really good ball skills. Like, I think he's it's, kind of cliche, but a Harrison Smith type. I could see the Vikings drafting him, quite frankly. But like, as you break it down,
everybody
whether
did that. The two white safety switch. That's
I understand. But they both just the style of play I think is similar. Regardless. And then when I pivot to the offensive lineman and try to sell you on that, I think the reason is because I don't care who they take at 25. As somebody said earlier in the chat, I just want them to work out. So it's about either the trust in what I've seen, whether that's Mesidor or Thieneman or some of the more surface level players that I've seen play on the national stage plenty of times, versus offensive linemen that I may not have been as dialed into, but I know their pedigree of talent, and I'm basing it off of what other people have evaluated, but also taking into account my trust in this coaching staff to develop offensive line talent. So that's kind of where my pecking order goes to where I feel most comfortable with what they're going to draft. When you say Malachi Lawrence, like, A, I don't feel comfortable yet trusting them to draft defensive ends because they haven't proven to me they can. And then B, I can't trust the way they're going to develop these guys. And maybe your counter argument is how Austin Booker finished the season, and that probably would be fair. But I'm just not there yet where certain defensive guys are like, is it going to work out?
Greg, my point counter to you would be they have not swung the bat. And they didn't have Ben Johnson doing the selecting with them and his coaching staff. You have to have a different kind of approach to it. And I think, listen, I'm putting a lot on Jeff King because I think when you send it out into the universe and speak about it, you have to be about it. And I think King is that way. So he's talking about getting dogs and football players and watching the tape more important. Lawrence fits every profile that they ever wanted because his tape and his RAS. I don't know what his RAS score must be outstanding. I don't go by those, but Malachi Lawrence's RAS score, his motherfucker had a 40-inch vert and a 10'10" broad jump.
Well, and I agree. It wasn't just Jeff King that said it, but
9.9.
9.9.
You heard Ryan Poles say it at the combine as well, that they're looking for football players, and
this guy fits both. And I am so high on this kid. I have no problem. That would be a home run selection. I've seen guys like this before. They're from a smaller program. This guy was the outstanding football player. Wasn't he the Big 12? Was he the Big 12 player of the year? Or am I getting that one confused?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I might be wrong.
Phil, I don't want to.
First team all Big 12.
I don't want to rain on the parade.
I gotta go.
Yeah,
I'm going to be listening to the show. I might call from the car like Carm if Greg starts fucking up this mock draft of yours.
Yeah.
We'll get it. Let's go. I got to eat some steak. Get
all
on
right.
with
it. Only eat steak. Now, in all seriousness, Greg, thanks for jumping on. I love you, brother. And I appreciate your transparency and honesty. And obviously, I love Shane. It's been a fun night, a great distraction from everything we got going on, and a great discussion. And it's fun to see these football players and the opportunity. I wanted everyone to know this is who I'm praying for.
Yeah, and so I think that this is just important real quick, Phil, before you go.
Yeah.
Malachi Lawrence is a second round pick, but to me, he won't make it there. And that's the thing. And we've been told, and a bunch of people have said, when draft night comes around and you start to get into the 20s and towards the end of the first round, there's going to be a lot of players that you're like, oh, when I did 500 simulations, he was going was going the end of the second round, early third round. And then all of a sudden you're going to see a guy like a Jalen Kilgore sneak into the first round. But that's because this draft overall, there's a lot of teams that have guys from 15 to 50 similarly graded. And a lot of teams are, listen, it's easy to say, oh, we got to just trade. I love people that are like, yeah, listen, we got to trade back. Like the Carm
trade back and we'll get Malachi.
Trade back's my number one option. Well, great. Everybody would love to do that and cash in. It depends on who's available. Is there a quarterback there? All of that. But there's gonna be people drafted in the 20s that people are gonna be like, oh my God, they blew that fucking pick.
Malachi Lawrence.
And within the NFL,
a first round fucking talent. Put my name on that because the tape doesn't lie. And if you're a patron, you have seen it and it's right there. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, this guy is a killer. And I felt very similar about Akis. And I don't want to argue about this because I believe Akis is a better player than
I'm taking a non-silent G at 25, just so everybody knows. I'm sending it
Silent J
to Indiana.
You have to tell that story. But just to answer his question, and then I'll be out of here and you guys kick some ass here. Yes, we'll be on every night. We're not going to be just discussing. Tomorrow night, it'll be fight night. Shane will go over all that shit for you. But every night this week, we will be live. And then again, live covering the draft and reacting to it. Tomorrow night, we're bringing on a patron to battle with us, the Etoshan, Marsaw, Vargas, and Lobster Bear. The Connecticut Deer Ticks will try to remain champs.
I got a new name this year, and it's in honor of Greg's wife.
There you go. The RUs.
The Silent G's. Yeah, that's my name.
G's.
That's my name.
Tell that story later.
Real
anyway,
G's.
Love
real
you guys.
G's moving silence.
I gotta go pick up my mother-in-law, Greg. I gotta drive to the airport, Jerry.
Come on, Wendy.
Wendy.
All right, get out of here, man. Drive safe.
It's like 10 o'clock at night. Who's flying out?
I gotta go.
You ever met Wendy?
She's coming from Chicago, Greg.
She is.
Did she get any Garrett's popcorn for me?
Probably
That's
not.
the big question.
All right, get out of here, man.
Later.
See ya. Greg, it's just me and you. I'm going to move over here to the number one spot. I'm going to bring this up. We're going to do a different. Can you guys even see that?
No, blow it up.
We're going to do a different simulator here because PFF gets worn out. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll make it work. Let us know in the chat.
So I am not trading up, just so everybody knows. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the ride all the way down to 25.
They can pick.
Yes, this is my official live mock draft for 2026. So we're going to get this started. We're going to start the draft and see where this goes. Hey, look, Fernando Mendoza actually went number one. I have not done the simulator yet that tried to pull the okie doke. So the Jets traded up.
Trade, yeah. There goes Thieneman.
All right. So Emmanuel McNeil Warren goes to Philadelphia. Casey Concepcion goes right before the Bears pick. Caleb Lomu goes to Pittsburgh. Thieneman is a Dallas Cowboy. Peter Woods, Ione. Eldrick Falk goes to Detroit. Monroe Freeling, Kenyon Sadiq. You guys know how it goes. So the Bears are on the clock with Caden McDonald, Caden Proctor, Akeem Messidor, Blake Miller, we have 4 trade offers. So the first one is Miami wants to move up from 30 to pick 25, and they're also offering pick 87. I like that. Tennessee, 35. They're offering 101 and 142 for pick 25. Vegas wants to come up from 36, offering 102 and 117. And Houston wants to trade up to number 25 from 38, offering 69.
That's the best one,
For
right?
pick 25. Yeah, so that's a total of 1,579, 1,547, 1518, and 1561. So what do I want to do here? This is interesting. I love getting that 69th pick, but I'm not sure I want to drive. I'm not sure I want to
38 to 25.
Yeah, that's a pretty big drop for me. But yeah, I'm kind of staring at this Miami pick, so I'm gonna actually accept their offer, and we're gonna drop back to number 30, pick up number 87, and we're gonna send 25 to the Miami Dolphins, and we will see that. So the Miami Dolphins,
Stay in the first round.
they came up and they took Avion Terrell, the corner. Messidor goes to the Buffalo Bills. Caden Proctor goes to the New England Patriots. Blake Miller goes to Houston. Cassius Howell goes to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Did that work out how you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Caden McDonald fan. So I really have I have no issue with McDonald at 25 and the way that this goes. I mean, Hennecore, I'm a big fan of R. Mason Thomas, but yeah, I am going to make the pick here. What does the chat think real quick? Where's our GM? I'm sick. Why are you sick, Illini? Who did you want? Got to take Proctor. It's fine. The Bears are not going to pass on Proctor. Okay, thanks. TJ Parker. No, I'm not a Parker fan. No, I'm not taking Simpson. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I am going to turn in actually, just let me look at the offensive tackles real quick. Yeah, I'm going to turn in the card here for Caden McDonald. Is going to come in. He's going to be an anchor on my line. I know he's not going to give you the big pass rush numbers, but stay tuned. We'll see.
He's super young. You could see it at the podium too, like talking to the other D tackles compared to him. Like he's just a baby, man.
Yeah.
I would have taken Hennichor.
Yep. So we're going to go back here real quick. So Hennichor goes the very next pick. Colton Hood, CJ Allen, R. Mason Thomas, TJ Parker, D'Angelo Pons, Chris Basantis, Pregnon, Denzel Boston, Chris Bell, Phil's guy, Lee Hunter, Chris Brazel. So at this point, so we are all the way down at 57. So I'm going to go over here and take a look.
Wait, Malachi Lawrence still on the board?
He is still on the board.
God dang it, Phil.
Yeah.
See how the computer says how stupid you are?
So we'll see. We'll see how that
doesn't
goes.
Trust the astronauts, but then he's gonna, but then he trusts the, like, come on, man, you like trust AI. Well, then you got to trust the mock draft, and the mock draft says to wait on Malachi.
Yeah, I would probably turn the draft off. We pass on Proctor for McDonald. We'll turn off the show. Go watch something else. That's good, man. It's good.
But in this scenario, they didn't pass on. Well, I guess they did because they traded back.
Oh yeah, no, they did. That's fine. But no, I'm just listen, guys. It's a fucking mock draft. It's not gospel, for Christ's sake. Let's just pump the fucking brakes a little bit.
No, we won't.
It's fine, guys. It's fine.
Right,
so under this, listen, I think that there's still there's some edge rushers there. Phil and I have talked, and I know how people feel about Zion Young. I would not be a fan of Zion Young at 25. If you told me that he lasted to 57, I'm much more open to it. There is stuff there. Sometimes some of these guys need a reality check. You know, you talk about the wide receiver that we took last year from the same exact school. Is he going to be the same player if we drafted him at number 10 versus taking him at number 39? I don't think so. Sometimes these guys need to wake up. So don't think I'm going to move up. I think that there's guys, you know, that I like. So I'm just going to start this back up. We're going to run it to 57 and see how this goes. All right. Get back to my... Oh, shit. What happened? Did I just fuck this all up?
Wait, go back.
I did.
Yeah, you hit restart.
I hit restart. I thought it meant restart the fucking... God damn
no.
it.
God, see, first it was Phil that was an idiot.
Right,
now it's Shane. And who would have thought?
Let me do this real quick.
The last person to not look stupid.
Damn it. Damn it.
Look at.
Let me do this again. Greg's throwing me off my game.
Phil wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, I know he wouldn't have. Jesus.
You're on the moon over here messing up the whole damn thing.
So I'm going to stay with the same thing if they're there. We're going to start this again. Start it and see how it goes. Hopefully it works out the same way for me while I fuck that up live on air. That was no good.
It's okay. And
yeah, it's all good.
We can blame.
We'll clean it up in post, right? There goes Cade McDonald, of course.
I blame the scrolls, honestly.
Yes. All right. Well, now people are gonna get their fucking way because now I'm gonna take my guy the way that this goes. But yeah, I did want to move down and get some more picks, but
okay. Well, let's scroll back real quick before you pick them and see who was taken.
All right, so Sadiq goes to the Rams, Jordan Tyson to the Giants, Caleb Downs goes all the way down to number 11. Mansour Delane goes top. Ruben Bain goes number 6. Wow, Ruben Bain and Myles Garrett. That's fun to think about. Keldrick Falk goes to Tampa. Jermod McCoy, Monroe Freeling. Your guy Thieneman goes to Carolina. Peter Woods ends up in Pittsburgh. McNeil Warren.
2 in a row were all 3 safeties and Lomu all gone before 25.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to turn it in. I'm going to take Caden Proctor so you guys can stop fucking crying. We have a left.
This totally was done. He totally changed this. He put this. The scrolls did this to you.
They did. Yeah. See how it is. Don't fuck with the scrolls. All right. Let's go down. See how far we go. Colton Hood. I'm going to run this to about 45, and we're going to hit pause. All right. Baltimore is on the clock. We're going to switch this over to edge. See who we got. So, hey, you're getting a little bit light there on some of the edges. You take the edges off. We obviously don't need an offensive tackle. So I'm going to look at the interior
Lawrence
line.
On the board again.
Yep.
All the way at 45, Phil.
All right. So, I'm in a little bit of a... Let me see if I can...
Akis goes off the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I offer a trade, I'm willing to come up here and see with Baltimore to pick 45. They want more, and I don't really... I got to do it, though. I got to get a pass rusher in here. That's the way that I feel. They're probably not going to accept that because I don't know, what is the chat saying as I'm off screen here? No, I'm not starting over again. Actually, you know what we're doing? We're just going to fucking We're gonna roll with this.
Run
See
it.
what happens. Maybe we'll do the
Resume.
yes, resume,
Correct.
not restart, Craig. I fucking tell you. All right, we're gonna resume this draft, and we're just gonna run it to 57 to see how this goes. There goes Malachi Lawrence to Detroit.
AJ Halsey just went too.
Yep. So let's see how this goes here. Now we are
Stukes.
interesting. I have him at safety. As a safety, denied Dennis Sutton, Joshua Josephs. This is not working out the way that I thought it was, Greg. I liked my first one better the way that it was working out.
Let's see O-line, and let's see, or not O-line, not O-line, because we just drafted.
Yeah.
Edge and safety. That's what you need.
Look at the corners. We are getting depleted here.
Kilgore's still there, but he'd probably be there for a minute.
Yeah, and we have 57 and 60. I'm sure I'm getting destroyed with the within the chat here. I wish I would have had my first one. So Holton is a guy that I probably would have taken at 57 had he went, and of course he goes the pick right before. I'm not loving this. What is the chat thinking?
A lot of people saying Dukes. James Crystal saying Danny Dennis Sutton.
Yeah. Well, and don't forget you got 57 and 60. So the way that I'm going to go on this, and this is not the way that I envision it. I am a huge fan of Anthony Hill Jr. I don't think that he's going to be available on draft night. I'm just going to go BPA here, and I'm going to take Anthony Hill because I think he can be a foundational piece moving forward, because I screwed myself out of my original draft, and it was setting up pretty good by hitting the wrong button. But hey, that's on me. So I'm
of all the like I brought up Manuel McNeil Warren a lot after the combine about just being so impressed with his story and the way he explained his kind of path through college. But if it wasn't for him, I felt like Anthony Hill was, A and and B right there, neck and neck, 1 and 1A. In terms of people that impressed me at the podium, Anthony Hill was like, you could just tell, just his stature, physicality, just looks like an athlete. But more importantly, like at the combine, like sounds like a leader, detailed in his, description of how he kind of, processes through plays. And you could just tell that, like, Steven, our guy that's executive producer at CSGO, he loves Anthony Hill as well. And like, you could see it, a lot of guys kind of, show that, kind of it's just something that really translates when you're talking to those guys when they have their shit together like that.
Yeah, Zen Collective, $5. The burritos are done. TTNL is live. Let's go. Best Bears show. My guy Mo Elmy, what's up, fam? $1.99. Thank you, Mo. And Corn Planter, craft whatever one of these guys can jump out of a pool. Yeah.
Ron Gilbert.
Yeah, the old Jerron Gilbert. I know people are banging the drum for trade down, but
who was a 3rd round pick, right?
Yes. Yep. That was our first pick that year, I believe, Jerron Gilbert, because that was the Jay Cutler 1st round, and we traded a 2nd rounder for Gaines Adams. So I believe that was our 3rd round pick that year. I think maybe we had 2 of them. Did we take Major Wright and Jerron Gilbert? Maybe I have 2 different drafts screwed up, but I'm going to take, we have pick 57 and we're coming right back up at 60. So stay tuned. I'm going to take my playmaker at the 2nd level on defense here, Anthony Hill. And we are back up on the clock here.
Kilgore.
Well, we do have some trade offers. Tennessee wants to trade up to 60, 66. Houston from 69. Cleveland wants to come up from 70. Washington come up from 71. Kansas City wants to trade up from 74. So let me see what we got here. All right, so we got those. Let me take a peek. So we got Caden Proctor and Anthony Hill. We have no edge rusher. Defensive tackle. Yeah, big citrus sitting there. So, well, this is going to definitely be a different. Oh man, I love Kalen Rutledge, and I know we don't need a interior player, but I think he's a cornerstone to your offense for 12 years. That could be a guy like Joe Tooney moving forward. That's the problem there for me. What am I gonna do here? Oh, man, the corners are moving out. Kilgore, Greg brought up. He's down there. He's never gonna go that late.
Lobster Bear in the chat saying, Greg and Shane, I have a moon surprise for DDP tomorrow night.
Nice. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Oh, so what are we at? We're at 57. So we got 811, 839, 837, and 857. All right. So, you know what? We're going to throw caution into the wind here. And we're going to move down to 71. See what happens here, Greg.
There goes Stooks, Denny, Dana Sutton.
All right. So, we got Romello Height. What picks? All right. So, we are at 71. I am going to. Oh, man. I fucking.
Safety. What about safety?
Yeah. Does this have your picks listed here?
Yes,
my team, my picks. So I got to go 71 to 89. Damn. What is the chat saying here, Greg?
Keontae Scott.
Yeah, Keontae Scott. I'm a fair. I have Keontae Scott. You know, I think he can play safety. Also,
all our safeties are gone. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm turning off the draft if it goes like this.
All right. So, man,
Philatosh in the chat. I'm behind and had to rewind. F brags. The computer isn't watching tape.
All right. Well, let's see what we do here. I think I'm gonna end up having to pivot, and I think you're. Oh man, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger on a corner.
Keontae.
Actually, no. You know what? I can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Greg. I'm going to bring in Josephs from Tennessee.
You sound thrilled.
I don't love. I'm still mad at what unfolded, the way that this went. So we're going to be down here at 89. Got some trade offers. Oh, let me see what we got. All right, my interior line guy is gone. Defensive tackle.
You get 2 Caleb Proctor.
Corners are almost non-existent. So, well, so I am. The way that this is, I think they have him wildly low.
Kilgore.
Yeah, I'm taking Kilgore here.
That's an easy one.
I'm sure the chat loves my draft acumen. Yeah, and Brandon is right. It does show you why grabbing one in round 1 is so critical. Totally agree. So we are dropping here. All right, the Chicago Bears are back up on the board. Here we do have some trade offers. These ads are driving me insane. I got my safety.
Phil is now behind, so everything he puts in the chat is
Yeah.
like 15 minutes earlier.
Oh, all right. I think I'm building up to some consensus here. All right. So
The 4th round.
we are at pick 129. So
Can
I'm
we take
turning.
a peek? Okay.
No. What do you want to take a peek at?
I'm just curious what running back and wide receiver at this point, like who, like just to kind of get an idea. There's Claiborne.
So, and what picks do we have here? We are 129 down to 147. That's true. I am actually going to make the pivot here, Greg.
Well, look at wide receiver real quick, because I'm just, for my sake, like curious what names they're stribbling.
Yeah, Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's some guys there that I can go with late, but I'm going to bring in a playmaker here on offense. Damon Claiborne, big fan, and I'm going to hope that
You just hit a home run.
Well, I hope that. Oh, there goes my guy at 144. Of course, 3 picks before me. But hey, welcome to the NFL draft. That's the way that this shit goes.
See,
sometimes.
but if you were doing this a little slower,
yeah,
you have been considering trading up? You know, like it just went 3 picks
probably.
before. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I would have been. Yeah, and it's listen. Yeah, you're rushed, and these are more fun than anything. I was just more so pissed off at my stupidity for not paying attention the way that I was doing it and hitting the wrong button.
I like how you started this by saying it's a mock draft, everyone. Chill the F out, and now you're pissed off.
Oh, I am pissed because that's rookie hour at its best. So let me see. Let me go back to, man, we cleared them out pretty good. All right. So, well, when in doubt, you know what we do? They're not going to love my system here, but I'm going to make DDP happy here. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to grab myself another pass rusher to go with Joseph's because I want to have a trio of them moving forward. He's a little bit older, but I'm going to bring some juice on the edge. Nadame Tucker is now a Bear at 147. Nope, I'm not restarting. This is the hand you've been dealt. This is how it works. This is what we do. And we are not up again until pick 209. At this point, Greg, you got to be very hungry, right?
I'm starving.
Oh, man. All right. So, I'm still good at wide receiver.
What about interior O-line?
Yeah, we're pretty barren.
Brockermeyer.
I'm not loving that I don't have a defensive tackle yet, but well, you know what? Don't love it. Don't love it, Greg. What am I going to do here? Oh, man. This did not go my fucking way. All right. So this is an underrated player, Jimmy Rolder. Actually, they don't have anything on him. But at this point, because of the way that it just fucking went, I might have to
Yeah, a lot of linebackers on this team.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. All right. Well, what we're gonna do here, I picked 209. I'm gonna take my high. This is my 5th ranked tight end. So I'm gonna have a core after Cole Kmet's days in Chicago are over. We're gonna go with Daquan Wright. Add him in there. I think Ben is gonna love a player like him. And we'll see how bad I get screwed over here if my wide receiver. Oh, there he is. He's there. And I know he just had a injury that's going to keep him out for a little bit, but he's expected. This is a Matt Waldman, Shane Marsaw favorite right here. I think this is a guy that could end up being a steal of the draft at wide receiver from TCU. Eric McAllister, we're bringing it in. Unfortunately, I totally fucked myself out of defensive tackle. Greg, what are your thoughts?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Dio Dangbo.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it is, and I get where, somebody said earlier, like, this is showing exactly why you can't pass up on defensive end so early. Well, the same could be said for defensive tackle as well, and the reality is this team has, immediate holes at edge, D tackle, safety, arguably left tackle. Like, that's not, you can't just like say, oh, we're good for this year at that spot. There's been nothing written in stone, as Shane likes to say.
Right.
And you've got other needs that are right after that at corner, right? That are going to be impending needs, a year from now, running back. So, that's where it's going to be interesting to see where they patchwork this together and find and identify which ones will be immediate starters versus then going after the draft and trying to sign who you can off the veteran, cut list, and try to fill out your roster all the way into training camp, and that's how they'll piecemeal it together. And then, next year's offseason will be, the pushing chips all in offseason, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, and so I mean, at this point, like I said, I got a couple of names here that I'm interested in. I mean, I can actually even be talked into a young developmental quarterback, but unfortunately, I'm going to go right down here to the bottom of the list, and I'm going to bring in a guy that can, at least at the end of the day, stuff the run, and we'll see how it is, since defensive tackle did not go my fucking way whatsoever. So I'm going to draft Brandon Cleveland out of NC State to wrap up this monstrosity of a mock draft that Greg fucked me over with.
Yeah, well, no, you could say this is me, the Scrolls, and Shane's official 2026 mock draft. Because everyone loved the first draft on how it was starting, and the only person that hated it was the Scrolls.
Yeah.
And then once everything changed, the only person that loves this one is the Scrolls. Everyone else hates it.
Yep. Look at Scrolls. He put that juice out there.
Hall of Fame left tackle.
Yeah. So, well, let's just go over it real quick before we get out of here. When I unfortunately hit restart and it didn't come my way, so we got our starting left tackle. We have a linebacker that's, listen, you're not going to keep him off the field. He's just too good. I'm a TJ Edwards fan. I get it, but Anthony Hill Jr. is a absolute destroyer of men that plays downhill and is explosive, is young. Joshua Joseph says, is he my favorite edge rusher? No, he's not. Kilgore, to me, is a day one starter at safety to pair with Kobe Bryant. And I'll tell you what, Damon Claiborne is my second running back in the entire draft behind Jeremiah Love. So I'm a huge fan there, and I know Matt Waldman, I believe, had him at like a 2B or a 2C scenario. To me, I gave you some more juice coming off the edge. I also gave you some juice. Phil brought this up, and I think it was a great comp. I got you a Marty Booker-esque talent at tight end in Daquan Wright from Ole Miss. Eric McAllister is a roll of the dice, but I think he's got massive upside for somebody that you bring in the 7th round. And then Brandon Cleveland, a guy that can stop the run at the very least. He's a big player, and if you can, come away with that in the 7th round, I'm not gonna have any qualms. I mean, overall, I know I was acting pretty down in the dumps, but I've definitely seen worse mock drafts. At least we have some depth. I know the one guy was pissed off because he said, well, we already have a linebacker and we already have a tight end. Well, yeah, I know that tends to happen. But yeah, we did get a nose tackle. We got a big run stuffer.
We already had tight ends last year and wide receivers, and they drafted those with their first 2 picks.
Yeah. So I'm not going to complain about this draft overall. It was just, like I said, I hated fucking up live on air. So that was that was more on me. But Greg, I want to get you out of here.
No, you're fine.
But
I'm having fun.
Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's fun to bring Carm on. Next time we'll get him to
turn his phone sideways.
Yeah, turn his phone sideways.
Yeah.
He was like being too mature, and you guys were being too mature with him. Like it was it was like polite, for the first time, and I just fully expect the 3 of you to be less polite.
Yeah, well, we'll get less polite on CHGO's airwaves. We'll push the envelope a little bit.
There we go. No, but it was a good time. Obviously, I always learn a lot coming on, so I appreciate it. Doing a little homework. I had to do some kind of work today.
Yeah,
I had to,
absolutely.
Figuring out my swing isn't really moving the needle for Bears fans.
Yeah,
golf course.
It's not. So if you are a TTNL Network patron, I will post this up. The results of the mock. So you guys can talk about it there. We will be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. East. Like we said, we have fight night coming up. Phil, myself, Ivan Vargas, and Lobster Bear. And if you're not familiar, the way that it works is we do a live mock. We alternate picks, and we pick rookie starters at every position and see who comes away with the best team. So it's usually a lot of fun. So I don't know, Greg, do you think you could survive doing that? We got to have you. Sandlin did it with us last year, which I had forgotten about.
Fight night?
Yeah. Do you think you could survive all 7? Or
well,
not?
I would
more
say
than
next
that.
year, me and Carm have to get it on the books that it's me and Carm for fight night next year.
And
we'll give him a little better notice, and
we'll provide you with help with Angelo Joe Marino can be your pivot man.
That'd be amazing. That'd be
supplying you with crucial information as we head into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
We will wrap it up here. Isaac Man, $23, $10. Rager would be good if you don't get the rusher you want in the 3rd or the 4th. Dennis Allen size 6'5", 250, and he's quick off the snap. Need more rush moves, but a good piece. And that was the thing. I mean, I had already taken 2 of them with Josephs and Tucker. So
I'll say this much. Just from some of the stuff that, going to the combine and doing our work here, I would say that if you listen to what they've been saying, through the media polls and Jeff King and talking about football players, I think that reveals a little bit of a hint to the idea that they may not necessarily all I'm saying is don't necessarily get caught up on the measurables that fit exactly how Dennis Allen wants for his defense. I think by them saying they want football players, I think they learned through last year, look, we get what we have from a foundational standpoint for Dennis Allen's defense. but we can put players in it like Austin Booker,
Yep.
you know, that may not necessarily fit every criteria, and that we're going to find a way to have them make plays. So I would say it's not the end all. I'm not saying they still, in an ideal world, somebody that matches the measurables, has the intangibles, and also, you know, shows it on the stat sheet. You know, that's the perfect storm. But I just think that they're starting to move in a direction where they're going to take the player and not necessarily have it at the mercy of the measurables of a system that Dennis
Right.
Allen showed he can, you know, adjust to as injuries come.
Well, you said it all, my friend. We'll let you get out of here so you can go get some
Gonna go
steaks done.
cook some steaks.
There you go. Get to
My
work.
nicely organized garage.
Perfect. Perfect. We'll see how it goes. All right, we're gonna play the intro that Phil worked so hard on with Max AO providing the lyrics. We will play that on the way out. Greg, you don't have to stick around. You can get out of here. Go start your
Moon
grills.
Man.
And as they start doing this, we with the first pick, we will soon find out. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. Thanks for showing up tonight. Draft didn't work out the way that I want, but like I said, I've seen a lot worse ones out there for sure. But we're out of here. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., it's TTNL's fight night. Tune in, have some fun, and let's go, Bears. Let's go. Get to work. Bear down.
The commission with the announcement of the first pick of the night.
With the first pick.
Under pressure,
With the first pick. First pick.
All right, so Malachi Lawrence.
First pick. With the
Texas Owl.
first pick. First pick. With the first pick. First pick. First pick.
Yeah.
First pick. With the first pick.
With number 25, really I am not picky. But with 3 picks sitting in the top 60, you better do the math. It better start to add up. You better not leave without a motherfucking pass rush. Build trenches, dogs, need those. Enough Craigs, need to add a couple Debos. 3 tech, got a tech, beast mode. A couple edges or the kid from Toledo. McNeil won the D, sort of a need for us. A retool for the champions of the North. We put the blueprint down, now we build on it. Green Bay wanna smoke it, we still want it. Detroit under reconstruction. Minnesota trying to get saved by a munchkin. Last year's good, got better, and the best part, this is phase 1, cheers to a fresh start.
First pick. First pick.
I mean, he gives a great right tackle, turns him around. Metador gets that first pick.
With the first pick.
What an effort!
First pick. First pick.
Snap inside, outside. Get that
First pick.
arm over your turn
First
forward.
pick.